Turn it up, swashbucklers! You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 176. My name is Phil Johnson. I am your host for the show and the ship's meatballier. Here we are today in episode 176. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling your friends. Thank you for visiting sponsors. All that great stuff that you do that helps me keep the old boat afloat. And if you haven't done some of those things in a while, I don't know, put it on your to-do list. Go tell a friend about the show. Visit a sponsor. Do something like that. It really does help the show. I guarantee you. And without your help, without you here, it's just me yakking into a microphone into the ether. That's a bad thing. My guest on the show today is Daniel Bjorkbacka, a.k.a. Joe Blackheart of Pat Razket. Yes, we are going to complete the Swedish pirate band trilogy today. If you want to dip back and find the other two parts of that trilogy, in episode 172, we have Stormfrun, and episode 55, Ye Banished Privateers. You can get the whole trilogy there. You can binge them like you would like a Star Wars marathon or something like that. And you can put them all back to back and get the whole Swedish pirate band trilogy in one shebang. So it's episode 55, 172, and today's episode 176. I am back from the coldest tour I've ever been on. If you listen to last week's show, I was there in Minneapolis, and it was just starting to get cold, but ooh, did it get cold. Holy cow. Minus 26, minus 30 with whatever the real field temperature was, minus 57, something like that, I think. It was ridiculously stupid cold. Apparently, it was colder than Antarctica. It was colder than Alaska. It was ridiculously stupid cold. Colder than Sweden? I don't know. Maybe not. Nobody gave the comparison to Sweden. Probably all you Swedish listeners are like, yeah, big deal. Every year, for a lot of the year, we deal with that. But oh my, it was. I did manage to sort of avoid the worst of it, only because on the two coldest nights, I was in an Airbnb apartment there in Minneapolis. I had bought enough groceries for a couple days, and I just did not leave. Did not go outside. Watched some Netflix. Got a lot of work done. I think it was the first time I've ever finished a daily to-do list in months. So that part was nice. Got a lot of work done. But I just did not go outside. I wasn't sure the car would start. I'm a California boy. Minus anything is ridiculous, but minus 30? Oh, holy cow. I'm not even going out in that. So the day I had to leave, it was still pretty chilly, but I was down to the hour as to what time I was going to leave, looking at the weather report. Because if I leave an hour later, it's only going to be minus 11 instead of minus 20. So that's what I did. And I went out, and the shows were great. I talked to you about the shows before last week's show. I had a couple more after last week's show. And so Thursday, I was in Appleton, Wisconsin. And that was sort of the tail end of the freezing period, the real cold snap of the polar vortex. And so we had about half a room that night, which was way more than I thought were going to come out. Those Wisconsins, they're hardy people. They are. They came out. That was a blast. And then we did Dangerfields Friday and Saturday. That's in Shakopee, Minnesota, back near Minneapolis. And the Friday show, total drag. Yeah, not fun at all. And so here's the thing: it was we had 10 people there, 10 people scattered about the room because nobody was seating them. Yeah, that's always fun. You can't get crowd energy going when people are scattered all over a room. One of the waitresses got drunk and started loudly having a discussion with one of the back tables, and nobody could shut her up. And then this dude came in looking like Santa Claus in the off season and heckled me through the latter half of my set as I was just trying to get through my material. And I did 70 minutes of material in 50 minutes. So, yeah, rough gig. So you go out on the web, you go out on Facebook, everybody just talks about the wins, right? Everything. It's hard to go on Facebook sometimes because you're just like, oh, everybody's doing better than me. Not always. Friday, that show sucked. It was terrible. Saturday, we made up for it, though. Sold out. Same venue. It was sold out. We had a company party there, so they were a little weird and interesting to deal with, but it was a nice way to end the tour. And then I came home, and I got to the wrong... I did the stupid thing where I went to the wrong terminal, the airport in Minneapolis, and it's a big enough airport where, like, to get to the other terminal, I had to take a tram and a light rail and then walk forever. And then finally I ended up in the right place. And I got there like 10 minutes before my flight boarded. So that was ridiculous. And then I discovered this morning that I left clothes in the closet at the last hotel I was at. Not just any clothes, the clothes I wear on stage, the expensive ones. Yeah. So I had to deal with that today, call them up and go, hey, can you send me your clothes? And then I had to figure out how to email them a mailing label, shipping label. Oh, it's ridiculous. I don't know. It's the cold. It's the cold. They say your brain goes nuts when there's a heat wave. Nah, for me, it's cold. Cold messes me up. Apparently, I'm gonna blame it on that. So I got home yesterday and had a nice little dinner with my girlfriend. We kind of half watched the Super Bowl at the restaurant. Neither of us really cares and still don't. I didn't want to see the game. I didn't want to see the halftime show. I didn't want to see the commercials. Really didn't care. But we had a little dinner, got some groceries for the week, and then I came home and immediately fell asleep and slept for 11 hours. I don't know what it is about travel. I don't know why sitting in an airplane should make you that sleepy. It was just hours of me watching old Monty Python episodes. That was the flight. But man, crashed hard when I got home. But plenty of energy today, and I'm here for you, and it's all good. I'll be back. I'm doing a bunch of California shows this month. Let's hit those. February the 7th, I'll be at the Rebel Kitchen, Livermore, California. February 8th, Farley's in San Francisco, California. February the 14th, that's Valentine's Day, doing a special Valentine's Day show at Aroma Winery in Hollister, California. On the 19th, I'll be at the Vinyl Room in Burlingame, California. 21st, Blue Lagoon in Santa Cruz, California. By the way, if you're an old a Goonies fan, the old movie The Goonies, it's a piratey thing, right? We have the show at the Blue Lagoon is called the Blue Lagoonies, and we have T-shirts that look like the Goonies logo, but it says Blue Lagoonies. They're great. Everybody always loves a shirt, even if they don't know what it's talking about. And then the 22nd of February, I will be at the Setup at 222 Hyde in San Francisco, California. And the 23rd, I'll be at the Comedy Oakland at Spice Monkey in Oakland, California. So lots of cool stuff coming up. I do have road dates coming up. Just booked some San Diego stuff. And Florida's on the calendar. Vancouver, Canada's on the calendar. A bunch more things coming up. And so that's that. We are sponsored today by Captain Juan Medina, Heinrich Gunter, Mateo Burrito, Lechtenstein's Pepper Pickled Herring of Pito. If you've never picked a pickled herring from Captain Juan Medina, Heinrich Gunter, Mateo Burrito, Lechtenstein's Pepper Pickled Herring of Pito, then you are missing out. In fact, why take my word for it? Let's hear from the man himself.
Ahoy! I am Captain Juan Medina, Heinrich Gunter, Mateo Burrito, Lechtenstein, but my friends call me Steve. And I am the pirate with a vague accent. If you have not picked a pickled pepper herring of Pito, then you should do so soon or I shall hang ye from the yardarm. Plus, they make great little fishy party snacks for your pepper pickled herring loving friends.
Well, if that's not a good enough reason to pick a peck of Captain Juan Medina, Heinrich Gunter, Mateo Burrito, Lechtenstein's Pepper Pickled Herring of Pito, then I don't know what is. But you can't, because all that was horse pucky, of course. Yes, of course. We're actually sponsored today by Parada Clothing. Their brand new website is a gosh darn pirate utopia of shirts and hats, clothing, swimwear, more. It's all steeped in the lore of pirates and treasure, and it's perfect for your next Caribbean cruise or trip to the Keys. Plus, they got new stuff added weekly, so go check it out. It's paradaclothing.com. Be sure to click that little ship wheel on the website to get in on Blackbeard's treasure hunt. And if you would like some exclusive discounts, it's very easy. Text the word pirate to 21000. Text the word pirate to 21000, and they'll just send you a discount. How easy is that, right? Usually, if you ask a business for a discount, they go, no, what are you, crazy? But not Parada Clothing. Parada Clothing will do it if you text the word pirate to 21000. So again, that is paradaclothing.com. Go check them out. If you're enjoying the show, and I hope you are, come join us over on Facebook, facebook.com/underthecrossbones. On Twitter, we're at undercrossbones. And of course, you can hit that surprise. It's not a surprise. You can hit the support page at underthecrossbones.com/support. And right there, you can help support the show financially. There's a little PayPal box there. If you just drop in a donation of whatever amount you choose, that helps quite a bit. There's an Amazon banner there. You click that Amazon banner, you go over to Amazon, you buy yourself something nice, and Amazon kicks me back a few shekels, and that helps. Doesn't change your price at all. Costs you nothing except whatever you were already going to buy. And if you want to be a sponsor of the show, like Parada Clothing or Pirate Radio The Treasure Coast, or any of our other great sponsors, there's information about that there too. That is underthecrossbones.com/support. And of course, you can get all the show notes for this episode at underthecrossbones.com/176. All right, let's get to it. Are you ready? Some people collect Pokemon. Some people collect stamps or coins or comic books. Not here. Not in this office. Not in this recording studio. We collect We collect Swedish pirate bands. That's what we do here. And today, we fill out the trilogy with Joe Blackheart of Pat Razket. Check it out. Pronounce the name of the band for me, because I might miss that too.
Well, we both use the Pat Razket.
Okay.
And sometimes in the beginning we use the Swedish more pronunciation Pat Razket.
Oh, okay. All right.
But nowadays we use the Pat Razket because we're not playing in Sweden at all, only in Germany.
Oh. Make it easy for them.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, let's start with that. What does the name mean? Where did that name come from? Because I was very confused by it at first.
Yeah, it's like not a word play, but it comes from a French word, patrasque.
Okay.
That means it was from the 18th century. You know, in big cities they called the unwanted people. You know, beggars, thieves, people outside the society. They were called le patrasque.
Okay.
So it's a term for the unwanted, the poor people, the beggars, thieves, and the unwanted people that the rich nobles didn't want to get in touch with.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That makes sense. Because it honestly took me a little while to get around to listening to your music, because I saw the name and I was like, I don't get the name. It doesn't sound piratey. And then I was like, oh, they are piratey. All right, now I got to listen to them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
But there may be some English, like ragtags, rebels.
Sure, yeah. Okay, now I like the name a whole bunch, so that's good.
Mm.
And the music is fantastic. I was just listening to Deeds and Debts again yesterday, and it's a really, really entertaining album. I know you guys made it on the Scoundrels Inn top 10 for the year, too, so that's great.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a good receipt for hard work.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fantastic record. So let's go back into band history a little bit. You are the banjo player in the band, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so how does the band start? How long have you guys been together? Where does it all sort of begin for you?
Oh, to make a long story short, it started like with a little seed 6 years ago. Okay. When I got this crazy idea, because I didn't know about any pirate bands at all in the whole world. I thought it was something unique, something new. So I had a cover band with Bjorn, the guy who sings in the band. Okay. Most of the songs. So we had a cover band playing at weddings, birthday parties and parties. Yeah. Like that. But then one night I got this sick idea that we should start a pirate folk music band. Okay. The rest of the band, they were like, What are you talking about? I said, I'm not sure, but I think it's a great idea. And then that was the beginning of everything. So
that's interesting. What was there a precursor to that thought? Because have you figured out what filtered into your brain that made that thought appear to you? Had you just seen a pirate movie, or was there some other little thing that put that seed there? No.
We played, it was like a pub party. So we played rock and roll songs, punk covers. But in the middle of one of the sets, we played some more American folk music. Okay. Some Pete Seeger and some old traditional songs. Okay. And then somehow we decided to play Drunken Sailor from... I don't know where we got it from, but it was just an experiment. We just tried it, and then I think it was because of that. Okay, all right. I'm not sure, but could be.
Yeah, that's a good entry point into it. Yeah, and there is so much of that. Yeah, I mean, because American folk music isn't really American folk music anyway. No, it's all Celtic and English, and yeah. all that kind of stuff. So then flipping that back into the pirate thing, that absolutely makes sense. So then the rest of them, is it basically, probably not all the same people at this point, but
no,
is the core of the group the same people that you were playing in the wedding band with?
It was only me and Captain Ben Bjorn.
Okay.
So there are only two of us left now. So some guys, they just quit because they didn't know what I meant.
Okay.
They said goodbye and left.
I have been through that myself. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I wasn't. It was new for me as well. So I had to think a lot in the beginning, and we mostly worked on the show, not the music.
Okay.
The music was secondary. It was like, let's have a great pirate show and play some music. It was more like that in the beginning. So
okay, when did that flip? At what point did you think, oh, now we got to pay attention more to the music than we were?
Yeah, we were in a competition. Music was a competition.
Okay,
for live bands, and I can clearly remember one day there was a jury, and they said, "Okay, you're great actors. You should focus on the music." And I think that was the turning point.
That sounds like a good turning point. Yeah.
Yeah.
They pretty well spelled it out for you there.
They should know that. I haven't met any one of them after that, but they made the point.
Yeah. So after you make this sort of this decision, or not a decision, but a suggestion to start a pirate folk band, how do the other musicians around you respond to that, and who jumped in and said, yeah, that sounds cool, and who was more like, that sounds weird, and then where did you go from there?
Bjorn, he was like, okay, let's go with your crazy idea. So he remained. And then I talked to our drummer, also named Daniel, and he said, yeah, why not? It was more like crazy and totally in for everything. So he jumped on, and then we got Biggie Smith, Emil, also joined the band and said, sick idea, let's do it. But then I was thinking a lot about the sound, I wanted the mandolin, accordion, violin, all the great instruments for playing acoustic as well,
right? Not
only on the stage. So we were looking for an accordionist and a violin player. So then we found our friends. A friend of mine played the accordion, and a friend of Bjorn, she plays the violin. So, but it took like 3 years to find all the pieces.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to trip over an accordion player that's good every day.
No. And definitely one accordion player that, yeah, I want to be pirate playing accordion. It was like in the beginning, everyone we asked, they were like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't understand what this is. So, in Sweden, we don't have those kind of bands. Only 3 of us, I think.
Right.
Gebanish Privateers, Stormfrun, and Razket.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And you guys are the third of the 3 that I've had a chance to talk to on the show. So I've got the whole Swedish collection now.
Wow. Good.
So,
well, it's a good collection.
It's a fantastic, yeah. I mean, they're all great bands. And so when you went out you get some music together, you start to get your show together, not knowing that those other groups were out there, what did you weren't tapping into a pirate music scene. So how did you then go out and start performing as that group, not knowing that there was a scene for that kind of thing?
I was, as I told you in the beginning, I did know about Gebanish Privateers because I Googled, I checked Google and checked YouTube for pirate folk music band, but the only one I found was Gebanish Privateers.
Okay.
But they were also they had been playing maybe for 3 years or something like that, but pretty fresh, pretty new. So I thought, they're not too good. Let's do it better than them. So I knew about them, and of course I checked, everything, started to read books about clothes, about instruments and the ways of singing, traditional sea shanties and songs like that. So
okay,
but Of course, in Sweden, if you call like a festival or pub or any place and say, we are a pirate folk music band, no one knows anything about it.
Sure, yeah.
It's not like that in Sweden. It's another world.
How did the venues react to it? Did they kind of put up a fight about booking you at first?
No. You know, I called some festivals and pubs, and okay, let's do it, but we can't pay you anything, you know. So no one called us. I was like hunting for gigs, and
sure.
There was a start for the first years, but then suddenly, when the festival had booked us for one summer, they started to contact us for the next summer, and you know, because they really have to see us live,
sure,
to understand what it is about. And
what was that first festival that gave you that break?
One of the first was a Swedish festival called Ingbofestivalen.
Okay. What was that a folk music festival or?
No, it was. But do you mean like a big break, like? Or now we're in the game, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, either or, because I mean, those are two separate things. You said there was that first festival that kind of, you know, got you in the door, and then I'm sure there was something bigger later on.
Yeah, but then but you know, the Swedish festivals were like, you're great, come back, but they didn't speak too much about us. Okay. You know, it was when I got in touch with the German guy Ralf Winterhoff.
Uh-huh.
He arranged a huge pirate festival in Germany. And I talked to him for like 2 or 3 years before he said, okay, I'll bring you to Germany. I was like, I was killing him with my mails and the phone calls. And you have to trust me, Ralph. We are a great band. Then in the end, he said, okay, I'll bring you to Germany. That was the big turning point.
Okay.
I can tell you.
Interesting. Yeah. And what's the name of his festival?
That festival were called Pirates.
Oh, that's
just Pirates.
Why not? That's a good name for a festival.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that these days you're not even playing in Sweden that much. You're mostly playing in Germany. Why do you think that music appeals to German audiences more so than Swedish audiences?
The pirate folk music arena, or what you say, is huge in Germany. Uh-huh. Medieval music, you know, folk music festivals, historical reenactment festivals, and it's a huge market for a band like us.
Interesting.
And there are not too many pirate bands in Germany as well, so we definitely are one of those.
Sure, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't realize that Germany had that sort of that medieval fandom tradition there. That's interesting.
And they're, you know, the people in Germany, they're really open-minded and sure. Embrace everything in different genres and, you know, different kind of styles of music and performances. And
yeah, that's interesting.
It's a great country.
It seems like it. And I've never been to Germany yet, though I keep hearing that they have, at least Berlin at least has a fantastic English language comedy scene. Mm-hmm. That's going to be my entry point over there, but I haven't had a chance to make it over there yet. But that's really interesting. So is Sweden, because I know you guys do the Swedish Pirate Armada show.
Yeah.
And are you building that Swedish audience around what you're doing? Are they starting to take to it at all?
Yeah, I think the Armada thing is possible the gate to open up the whole scene in Sweden, definitely, because if you play in places like 2,000 or 3,000 people lives in that little village, you know,
sure.
You don't get anywhere. Sweden is too small. You have to do something big in the biggest cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, Malmö, because Sweden is too small, I guess.
Okay.
The cities are too small, you know. Germany is so much bigger, and of course, United States and, you know, other countries as well. So
sure, yeah.
I think Sweden is too small to keep so many people that could listen to this kind of music.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we have to do big things in big cities to get people to understand and see what it is.
Certainly. Yeah, absolutely. So now Deeds and Debts, that's your second record, right?
Yeah, that's the second album.
Okay.
And the first one was released 2 years ago.
Okay. What was that one called? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Legends and Tales.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I listened to that one too. That was also very good. So when you started concentrating more on the music after you'd already gotten the show dialed in, at what point where in the history does that fall? Had you already done the first album yet?
No, I think the first album was the receipt of our work.
Okay.
Like focusing on the music. So I would say the first album was the point where we understood that we could make great music as well as doing funny performances.
Okay. And then so going into doing Deeds and Debts, I know when I am recording new stuff, I'm always kind of looking back and going, okay, what did I not accomplish on that last thing that I want to do on this thing? Did you have any ideas like that where you were going, okay, what didn't we get to on the first album that we want to do on the second album? Or what did you want to change or redo or accomplish with that second album?
We didn't have many thoughts like you explained now. It was more like on the first album, I wrote maybe 6 of 9 songs, I guess.
Okay.
Something like that. But the second album, our accordion player, I think he wrote 7 of 14 songs.
Oh, okay.
And he's a great genius. Actually, he makes great music, and the lyrics are totally insane.
Okay.
So I can tell you, he has more or less made the second album, as well as Frida, the violin player.
Okay.
She's also really great. Fantastic lyrics and music.
So not only did you find a good accordion player who wanted to be in a pirate band, but also one that could write songs too. That's a holy grail of some sort.
Yeah, you know, his wife. She's like, "What you woke something in this husband of mine." I don't know him anymore. So he had something that he didn't know about it until he started to play with us, and then something opened up, and he's a genius. I would say.
That's really great. That's very cool. Very cool. Now, did you when you went in to do this second album? There's a pretty distinct just difference in the production from the first album to the second album and things like that. Did you put more money into it? Were you going to better studios? How did you improve that part of it?
Well, I think slightly more cash, but not like a huge amount. It was. Okay. So we had this Kickstarter project.
Oh, okay. Small
studio, nothing special like that.
Okay, just everybody getting a little bit better all the way around, probably then.
Yeah, I think we have changed a lot during these years. From the if I think back, like look back 6 years ago, it was a disaster.
Yeah, why was it a disaster? And then what kind of things did you concentrate on changing?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, we were not, like, we did it like a funny project or something.
Oh, okay.
Didn't put too much time in doing our best, and we swapped the instruments and just had a fun time in the beginning doing this. Then somehow it started to change, and I was thinking that we could do it like a bigger thing, not only like a funny hobby or something like that. We started to put more time in it on the whole web page, and creating more professional, both the design of the web page and everything got more and more professional.
Okay, that's interesting because writing, being in a band that's kind of a goof band like that, where there's a joke to things and whatever. I completely identify with that because I write comedy music. But did you find that you had to put some of that away to make it a more professional sound?
Yeah, definitely, because from the beginning, we were playing a lot, but I didn't want to make it like a goof band. Still, I wanted to make it like a great pirate folk music band, and so we had to change our style because people, they didn't know what we were, and they say, they are like goofs. Or I didn't want the band to turn it into that way and remain there. I wanted to do it in a more professional way. So we had to be more serious, start to write great stories instead of just party songs like that.
Yeah, interesting. That's an interesting take on it. Do you think that there is a place in some future version of Pat Razket where you can bring some of that humor back into it without now using the skills that you've got? But bringing some of that kind of thing back into it and see what happens with it? Yeah,
we do it now as well. So the live performances in Germany this summer, they have been a great mix between, really emotional music and, funny jokes about and from the captain, on the stage.
Okay.
Definitely a mix nowadays. A good mix. Balanced mix, yeah.
So, what's in the plans for 2019? You can be touring. I mean, this record just came out. I don't know if you're working on the next one yet.
We have a lot of songs already, but we'll see. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year, I guess.
Okay.
We have so many unplayed. We have played them at the rehearsals and tried them out, and they are great as well. So there will be another album soon.
Good. And so then mostly touring for this year then?
Yeah, this year we'll start with the Swedish Pirate Armada, 9th of March.
Oh, okay, great.
In Stockholm. And I can't say too much yet, but
okay.
I think we have not too many dates booked now, but I think, of course, we'll end up in Germany a couple of times.
Sure. Yeah, sounds like it.
But I can't promise you any dates or festivals right now, but I would be surprised if we don't go there. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. I really want to come and see the festival scene in Europe. Europe is very known for its music festivals, which isn't really a thing here in the U.S. I mean, we have, Coachella and we have these festivals, but they're starting to become sort of bloated and overblown, and a lot of people are starting to not go to them. But we don't have the festival circuit like bands in Europe do, and I've always thought those are really, really interesting. I mean, we have there are festivals, but it's not the way that you come up in the ranks. It's the way that you kind of when you're already up in the ranks, then you do the festivals, and so it's a very different kind of circuit there.
Cool, because here there are festivals for everyone, beginners, and huge bands as well. So there are festivals for all kind of audience and bands.
That's very cool. Yeah. I think it's such an interesting system because here musicians will just slug it out in 100 capacity clubs forever until they can fill it on their own. And then they go to the next level club and the next level club, and I've always thought the festival thing is a much more interesting way of doing it because you have such a much broader access to an audience that way because you are being teamed up with other groups that fit your style and things like that. What kind of audiences do you play to at the average festival? What size of an audience?
Whoa, in Germany there are but this summer we played not only at these historical festivals. We played at it was synth, rock, goth, metal festival or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Like a really dark, not like death metal music, but more goth or synth rock and
sure
those kinds of bands. But we really fit in, I can tell you. So
yeah, I can see that.
It was a good experience and a huge audience at one of the gigs. So
do you know cool. What kind of numbers you had in the audience?
Well, hard to say, but it was totally crowded, totally full, that place. between 500 and 1,000 maybe.
Okay, nice.
Big hall, so...
Nothing like a big audience. That's so fun.
But in Germany, there is a huge audience for bands like us. So even if you go to more like a rock festival or pop or whatever, they will find you.
Okay.
in Sweden, it's like you can play for old, young, old people, and they don't know about you, so they just show up and have a great time, like more spontaneous. It's not like that they are following us or something like that. It's more like, oh, have you heard about this band? It's such a great band, they say afterwards. So
right. And I think that's one of the things that festival system really fosters a lot. Mm-hmm. More so than we get here. I mean, there's a little bit with our festival system here, but like if you go to a club show that's got 4 or 5 bands on it, there's usually like the crowd rotates. One band's crowd will show up and then they'll leave, and the next band's crowd shows up, and it's hard to get an audience to stay for the whole band. Whereas that's part of why I started doing stand-up comedy, is because people will go see stand-up comedy even if they don't know who the comedian is.
Yeah.
They'll just go, let's go see comedy. Nobody ever goes, let's go see music, but that seems to be more of what happens at in that festival circuit, which I really think is fascinating. That's very cool. We should have that here.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, this has been fantastic, man. The new record, like I said, is fantastic. I'm gonna play a song from it, hopefully here right after the interview in the show.
Cool.
So that'll be so everybody can hear it. And is there anything that we didn't talk about that I forgot to ask you about that you want everybody to know?
Yeah, that we really would like to go to the United States and Canada to play.
Okay, for
sure.
Cool.
As well as Brazil, but that's another continent.
Yeah.
But we have been looking for festivals as well, and I don't know if if the arena is like the pirate festivals. Are they many and big in United States, the East Coast, for example?
Yeah, there are a lot of pirate festivals here, and they all have varying budgets for entertainment. But certainly the larger ones bring in bands. Like I was working as an MC at the Pirate Invasion of Long Beach last year, and we had Pirates Charles and bands like that, So, a lot of the pirate festivals will bring bands in. I know the NorCal Pirate Festival in Vallejo here in California, they bring bands in, and I'm sure Gasparilla and, a lot of those East Coast festivals do as well. So, and a lot of people that work at those festivals are listening to this show. So, pay attention, those people, and
Great.
And bring Pat Razket over for some gigs.
Yeah.
Very cool. So where's the best place for like online for people to keep track of what you guys are doing?
Our Facebook and our new web page.
Okay. And the web page is patrazket.se, correct?
Yeah.
And then they can find you on Facebook. And I will make sure that all that is linked up in the show notes so that everybody can go find your stuff. And this was fantastic. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this.
Yeah, it was really, would like to thank you lots, because it means a lot to us to get in touch with you as well. So
I appreciate that, man. I hope we can talk again soon.
Yeah, me too.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And there it is, friends. That is my interview with Joe Blackheart of Pat Razket. You can find him at patrazket.se. That is patrazket.se. So much E in that. Anyway, patrazket.se. Did you hear something you liked? Did you hear a moment of conversation that you wanted to jump in on and add your 2 cents to? You can do that. Come on over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/underthecrossbones. Let us know what you thought. Ask a question, make a comment, do all that kind of good stuff. If you're over on Twitter and you prefer that, twitter.com/undercrossbones. And of course, I will have a whole bunch of stuff in the show notes for you at underthecrossbones.com/176. Pictures, video, all sorts of cool stuff. And we are sponsored today by Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast, WKKC-DB. If you're listening over there, welcome. Hello. They play the best music of today's hits and yesterday's classics, and Pirate Radio Talk, playing the best pirate shows including Under the Crossbones, 24/7, all commercial free. You can't beat it. To listen, just go to pirateradiothetreasurecoast.com, that's the music station, or pirateradiotc.com for the talk station, and you can also get the apps, the Pirate Radio WKKC-DB Music app, or the Pirate Radio Talk app on your favorite app store, whether it's Google Play or Apple App Store or any sort of weird little app store. I don't know. Is there a dollar store version of the app store? Some place where you just go in and they got, a bunch of apps that nobody else wanted, and they're all marked down. Most apps are free, so I don't know. They're marked down to we pay you to take them. I don't know, but there'll be a weird freezer full of apps that really you probably shouldn't get at the back, and like weird off-brand apps. There'll be like, Twiter. There'll be something called Twiter, the Twiter app, and the Foosbook. Foosbook app will be in there. Anyway, I've gotten off topic now. You can get the Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast apps in your favorite app store. Just look them up. Or you can ask your Google or Alexa device just to play it for you in the way that you would ask those things to do things. Yes. All brought to you by iTreasure Radio, the very best digital media from independently owned stations at iTreasureRadio.com. I got a free little ebook for you. It's Alexander Exquemelin's Pirates of Panama or Buccaneers of America, whichever title you prefer. Originally published in 1678. It's a great piece of real golden age pirate writing. Alexander Exquemelin was a doctor who ended up on pirate ships, wrote about his firsthand experiences. So you can download that at underthecrossbones.com. Click on the free ebook right there, and that will hook you up with that. We're going to hear a song. Yeah, we can't get out of here without a song from Pat Razket, so let's do that. We're going to hear a song from their latest album, Deeds and Debts. This is Hangman's Noose.
When your life's gonna end, as you hold your breath, when your life's gonna end in the hangman's noose.
Feel the rope round your neck, your hands are tied. Smell of death in the air, and nobody cries. As you stand alone in the wind blowing cold, waiting for a priest to bless your soul. Life's gonna end as you hold your breath. When the light's in your palms, speak nothing but death. When the demon's inside, I'll finally let loose. When your life's gonna end
In the hangman's noose.
when the priest done his job, our Father being told. When your sins have been cleared, hand of glory sold. When the words from the judge, echo in your head, you must reap what you sow, hang until you're dead. When your life's gonna end, as you hold your breath. When the light's in your palms, speak nothing but death. When the
at last a reaper will come for thee. When you're ready to go into everlasting night, when you close your eyes as the news pulls tight.
And there you go, that was Hangman's Noose from the album Deeds and Debts by Pat Razket. And of course, you can find all their stuff at patrazket.se. That is our show for today. Appreciate you tuning in, telling your friends, visiting sponsors, all that kind of good stuff. Go tell a friend about the show today. And if you haven't, go find a pirate-loving friend and go, hey, you know what? There's a cool show. It's called Under the Crossbones. Grab their phone from them, subscribe them right there. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do that too in your favorite podcatcher app of choice. You guys are, I asked the other day, and you guys are kind of all over the place. Everybody listening everywhere, and I like that. Coming up next week, Moon Sun Kim, who is a comic creator of a pirate comic called Whispers in the Wind that I think you're really going to dig. Week after that, we got Mark Pacquiao, who is the creator of the Treasure Island board game. So, getting off our music thing a little bit here into some other realms, and I am working on scheduling a whole bunch of other really great stuff with people that you guys have suggested to me. So I'm always open to guest suggestions. You can either hit me up on the Facebook or the Twitter, or if you want to just email me, it's phil@underthecrossbones.com, and you can email me there for whatever your questions, comments, or concerns might be. All right, that's it. I'll see you next week.